Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting.
Hi, and welcome to Ducks Unlimited TV. I'm Ashley Ward. It's hard to believe, but another original episode season of DUTV is in the books. We will close out this year with some of our best moments and all new footage from an action-packed youth hunt in Tennessee. All coming up next on DUTV.
One of these days, daughter, you'll be grown. Remember what I told you? And pass it on.
You know, a lot of people have asked me over time, why do I love duck hunting more than I love the others? And for me, it's like the dance. You're calling to try and see if they'll come dance with you. To see them cut, and dip and weave. To watch the birds work is the real objective of the hunt.
It's so much more than just getting out here and hunting ducks. It's watching a sunrise and kind of seeing it all come together.
A lot of people think that hunting is what it's all about for us, and we certainly do love to hunt, there's no question. But what we do is we try to make sure there are areas like this for people to go hunting, for people to go bird watching, and keep water out of their homes.
All right! It's a beautiful morning out here on the Salt Lake, and we've seen a ton of birds so far. We've had a lot of big wads come in. And we've got a pretty good setup out here. We were kind of battling the ice and the wind.
Typically, on most ducks, when you get a north wind, the birds will go north. They always fly into the wind because they're going to be on the leeward side of whatever they're sitting on. They're going to go out of it.
All right.
Out here on the lake, for some reason, what we've noticed this year is they did the complete opposite. And part of that is, I think, because the brine and the brine larvae and stuff like that are getting pushed with the wind, all of that.
Oh, here comes some more.
While they're out on the salt water, they have to have fresh water. So where we were setting on is a freshwater flow that the water comes, you know, a bunch of different flows come in to the Great Salt Lake, and we just happen to be on one of those. Now, you don't typically see a big pile of brush. You don't typically see big logs. You don't see anything out there. We are just flat as a pancake. So what you're capitalizing on is those birds are over open water and they're going to feel safe. So they're going to get low across the water. So where we're in 6 inches of water, what we do is we sit in the coffins like that, try to look like the ducks around us, put some taller ducks around us so that they, as they move up and down coming towards you, they won't have the profile behind you. So you just want to be as low to the water as you can, because then the ducks won't be able to pick you out. You'll just look like you blend in with the rest of the spread.
Ducks Unlimited Television is presented by Drake Waterfowl Systems, innovators in waterfowl hunting. Mossy Oak Shadow Grass Blades, the official camo of Ducks Unlimited. Browning Firearms, the best there is. And by Ducks Unlimited's Ducks Expo at Texas Motor Speedway, celebrating everything outdoors.
I think that obviously as conservationists, the sport depends on us to get young men and women out into the field to give them the experiences that we've had. Hunting is a sport that it doesn't come easy. As I've experienced in my entire life, especially waterfowl hunting, it takes a lot of knowledge, it takes a lot of gear, it takes a lot of patience. And I think more importantly than taking them hunting is that relationship is so important. We don't just take them once. We got to take them a second time and a third time and a fourth time, because I think that's what we're missing as an industry, is we think that, you know, we can just go out and have one youth event, teach someone how to fly cast or shoot a bow, and they're going to be able to go out in the field and do it on their own. That's not true.
We're kind of walking the razor's edge here, you know, as a conservation community. Hunter numbers have been in decline overall for a couple of decades now. There's still some signs of life. The waterfowler numbers have actually gone up in the last few years, which is a good thing. But we're kind of teeter-tottering on, is this going to continue and thrive, or is it not? And it's important that my kids, your kids, everybody's kids, get educated about it. They need to be going to these youth days and getting out in the field and experiencing this and learning to enjoy it, so that they'll appreciate it and so that they'll support it when they're adults, and they'll keep all of this alive. And the only way to keep all this alive, you ask anybody at DU, at a state or federal agency, the future of our wildlife in North America is entirely dependent on our children. And that starts with us as parents and grandparents. We have to get them involved, make sure they understand and care, so that they'll become the new caretakers in the future.
And it comes to a point where it's not about killing ducks. It's, it used to be. I've kind of moved away from that. I like to shoot ducks, don't get me wrong. But now it's it's more about entertaining people and introducing folks to the sport of waterfowling.
I think it's amazing to see that twinkle in someone's eye when they shoot their gun for the first time and you see them light up and they're going, oh man, this is so cool. Like, we need to do this more often. I mean, that's something that you can't replace in life.
Oh, and I think if I had one message to fathers, it would be, fathers, please take your sons and daughters hunting, and understand that it's more important to take them hunting to teach them about things other than hunting than it is to teach them about killing ducks.
Gaining from his experience has been twofold. Not only have I learned to be a sort of better hunter, he's taught me to be a better writer as well.
90% of a hunting trip is, where the windshield washer fluid goes, how to cook at a duck camp, how to split firewood, all those sorts of things that I think it's important for fathers to teach children. And they're lessons that need to be taught just outside of youth waterfowl days. I think that's one very disappointing part of what we've done with waterfowling, is make youth days so people have felt like only youth should go on those special days. These kids should be in duck camps from the time they can hang out with the adults and can enjoy the hunting and can tolerate the cold. And I feel really strongly about that, and I love to see, wherever I go, to see fathers and sons and fathers and daughters enjoying this experience.
Ducks Unlimited is the world's largest nonprofit group devoted to waterfowl and wetlands conservation. We depend on the support of people just like you to carry out our mission every day. How can you become more involved in Ducks Unlimited? That's the easy part. Become a member. For only $35 a year, you can join DU and become a part of our organization. And with that, you get an annual subscription to Ducks Unlimited magazine, a premier publication on waterfowl hunting and conservation. You can also volunteer to help at a DU event. Local fundraising chapters hold over 4,000 events each and every year, organized by people just like you and your neighbors. And that raises us over $50 million for North America's wetlands. DU volunteers have an awful lot of fun while making a lasting impact on the environment. For more information on how you can join Team Ducks Unlimited, please visit our website at ducks.org. And on behalf of our members, our volunteers, and the staff here at Ducks Unlimited Canada, and Ducks Unlimited de Mexico, thank you for everything that you do.
DU Insights is brought to you by Mossy Oak Properties. Find your favorite place at mossyoakproperties.com. DU TV is powered by Browning Ammunition, the best there is. Mossy Oak Properties, America's land specialist. Purina Pro Plan, nutrition that performs. And Plano Synergy and Zinc Calls, a champion in every call.
I think it's important to point out the amount of accessibility there is for public hunting in this region. The upper Mississippi has over 270 miles of boatable and huntable land and countless ramps on both sides of the river.
The work that DU is doing to help us create new areas for waterfowl and new area for waterfowl hunters to experience the sport will help ease some of that overcrowding if we can find areas.
And I think that, at a time when people are talking about shrinking land opportunities and difficult land access, I think that's a proper mallard duck right there, huh? It's cold once you get outside that boat. I'm freezing to death out here. That's a really important feature, and this is a really important part of the world where a guy can get out with a boat and safely and effectively hunt ducks.
Everyone wants to get to the spot, but it's also about, getting good separation and working the birds and not, shooting high. It's all, I try to get back to, we kind of talked about it a little bit in the blind this week. It's about the art and the craft of waterfowl hunting as much as it is going out and pulling the trigger.
Okay, let's talk a little bit about calls on a lanyard. Now, we've been talking about how to blow a duck call, how to read ducks, but I want to tell you probably a very well-kept secret is how to position your calls on your lanyard. And I think this is very, very important because you should always be able to grab your duck calls or your goose calls without looking at them. Very, very important. Now, my lanyard here is the AVNX Deadhead lanyard. It's kind of a design that I worked up through many, many years, 40 years of having calls around my neck. As you can see, all the calls don't come down into a ball with short lanyards where when you pick one call up, you got them all, okay? These are separated out. And I want to explain why that's important or why it's so handy. You want your loud calls on one side and your soft calls on the other side. So this is my loud duck call. This is my loud goose call, my soft goose call, and my soft duck call. Now this lanyard, I haven't touched it since last January. You can see my soft duck call is actually really soft. We were hunting late season, very smart ducks, and a lot of times this call didn't work so well. So having this all strung out, of course I got my whistle on a long lanyard, so when I'm giving hand signals, it's not tight. And I have a very cool tool called the finisher that helps, put away ducks that are injured, or ducks you want to mount. Very easy to end their life. very humane way, okay? So why is this cool? Is because today the wind's blowing, I want my loud duck calls on my right hand side because I'm holding my gun with my left, my calls on my right. But I show up the next day and the wind's not blowing, okay? And I want my soft duck calls where I can get them on my soft goose calls. And so I can just reach down and boom, without looking, grab it, right? Very, very important. So a little method in the madness. I hope this helps. And remember, call them close.
Duck Talk with Fred Zink, powered by Plano Synergy and Zink Calls, a champion in every call. DUTV is brought to you by Native Nurseries, hand-selected, hand-grown plants for wildlife. Higdon Outdoors, quality, customer service, innovation. That's Higdon. Biologic, scientifically proven wildlife products. Closed captioning for Ducks Unlimited Television is brought to you by Mossy Oak Bottomland, the official timber pattern of Ducks Unlimited.
Growing up in Pine Bluff, Arkansas, I didn't really realize how lucky I was to be born here. In a really rich area for waterfowl and agriculture.
What is the Grand Prairie, Arkansas County, right around Stuttgart, famous for our green tree reservoirs.
We're out here in the Arkansas timber. It's a rainy morning, but we're having a great morning. You don't always need sunshine to have a good hunt, so we've had a lot of greenheads working this morning. We've had a lot of woodies. We've done pretty good so far. The rain's not going to keep us away.
Probably the fascination with hunting ducks in any kind of trees in general is people's disbelief that they'll go in there in the first place.
The hole where we hunted this morning is the most special spot to me in the world. It's a place that I found in 1972 with my first cousin Bill Duckland when I was 16 years old. We went off in our four-wheel-drive Blazer and went exploring, and must have been a big acre crop that year. Must have had some cold weather, because when we got out of our truck, put our red ball waders on and started walking in the woods, all of a sudden we just saw green heads just swimming all through the woods. It's so important that if we don't see that protected, it will go away one day.
To have them come in and land in the decoys, it's like a bonding that takes place that doesn't take place for me anywhere else in nature. So for me, duck hunting is the dance, and it is the enjoyable part of connecting with the animal.
The song is not just about hunting. It's about the relationships between a father and a daughter. What it means to be in a family that has a strong faith in God, teaching the values of the outdoors and our part in the significance of the land and its importance to the wildlife we enjoy hunting, and how it connects to the generations.
We have a whole new generation that needs to understand what it's like to go out and get grass stains on your knees, a little poison ivy on your arms, little scrapes on your legs from climbing trees, and a little mud on your butt from sliding down a riverbank. We need more of that out there, but it won't happen unless we stay focused on getting the young people out to enjoy it. Because I fully believe the future is in great hands with our young people. But we have to make sure that they're equipped with the knowledge of what we do, why we do it, and what's in it for them and their society.
As I've always told you, the hunt is to enjoy the trip, enjoy the fellowship, enjoy the hunt. Pulling the trigger has always been the bonus. To sum it up, that's easy. Pass it on.
Thanks to everyone who made this season of Ducks Unlimited TV possible. We had a great time and we're already planning the next series of originals. Remember to watch classic episodes and bonus footage anytime at ducks.org. For all the DU volunteers, staff members, and show partners, thanks for watching and see you again soon on DU TV.